Well, the guy, the big dog, the man, Roman Reigns is now the U.S. title after being. He's now the U.S. title. He's U.S. champion after. I think it's. Wasn't he a three-time WWE champion? Is that right? Or am I wrong? I don't know what's happening though. There's a lot of weirdness tonight on WWE Clash of Champions. Did I like it? Did I hate it? I don't know. It was all right, I guess. I really liked Sheamus and Cesaro, best of seven. I just don't know about the ending. I really did like the ending though. I thought it was cool. Like they both literally, not I guess figuratively. Everyone says literally. They just killed each other inside that ring. They like whoever was booking the match, whoever was creating like the story for the match, was like, all right, we're gonna go to seven, and then you guys can go kill each other and then finish it on Raw, which is fine because they use that series to sell the pay per view, then use the pay per view to sell Monday Night Raw. It's actually genius if you think about it. I mean, a lot of people on Twitter were complaining, like, you go to seven matches and that's the ending. Yeah, well, most best of seven or best of series always end on seven, and it's very predictable. They didn't do that this time. So, I mean, I think it was fine. I think it was all right. Whatever. It's cool. They're going to just throw it up on Raw and continue on that story. I think that was the best, most compelling thing out of the night because you think about it, that's the one thing you remember is Cesaro almost killing himself, and that was a crazy match. I mean, I really liked it. Again, I don't know about best of seven, but for them to sell me again on Raw, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. And well, let's continue on. We'll talk about more matches. We had a women's title retain that was fine, but there was just like a weird vibe to that at the end. It felt like they were kind of off for a minute. Like I don't know what it was. They were just like slow and not sure what spots they were supposed to do. And I just felt like they were lost for a moment. Like the cool double moonsault thing that Charlotte did, where she did a moonsault and hit both of them, was cool. But then it was like, I just felt like it was off. And then she won with the big boot. I mean, there were two big boots, but I'm just not sure about that. But I don't know. The rest of the night was kind of iffy. I mean, I felt like the crowd was dead at the end when we had the title match, and then the cruiserweight title match was good, but it didn't hold up to the standards of the cruiserweight classic. I don't think. I don't think it was on par with the rest of the cruiserweight classic, really. But it was still great. I mean, one thing that I noticed out of it was they changed the ropes. Like halfway through the match, I was like, wait a minute, the ropes and the turnbuckle pads are purple. Like the W's on the turnbuckle pad are purple, which I think was just done with lights. But I was just wondering, like, how fast does that ring crew work? And they did that just for one match. I guess that's fine. They want to give that vibe. But then it reminds me of, like, when they used to do those Divas matches back in the day, and they used to have, like, I think it was pink lighting on all the Divas. So now they're going purple. Um, and I thought that the Mega Man entrance by TJ Perkins was cool with Max Health on the top and then HP on the bottom. Except it just said HP on the bottom, which I think it should have had something on it. But then on the Floortron thing, I don't know what that's called. Does anybody have a name for that? Let me know in the comments. But like that Floortron, I don't know what you call that. You have the big main Tron up top, you got the mini Tron, and then you have the Floortron. I don't know. I guess it's a Floortron thing. But yeah, they should have had like something else with HP. I don't know. They could have done something better than just text. I feel like if they would have made it like look like a video game or look like an RPG or something, it would have been cool. But it was pretty sweet. His entrance was awesome. Cool stuff. Can't wait for them to drop it on Spotify so I can listen to that song over and over and over again because it was like Mega Man-esque, as everyone was saying out there. But again, it's just cool to see the Cruiserweights doing their thing on Raw. They give it a whole new, unique look. They do like an in-ring promo, but then we had Brian Kendrick headbutt him at the end, which is kind of cool, which I don't know if they're going to keep Brian Kendrick around as a bad guy. I guess they need to add more story to this because it's basically just been wrestling up to this point where you're just seeing cruiserweights wrestle. So now if they can add like a little story to it and maybe do something like that. But let's get to the end where they're trying to make Seth Rollins the ultimate good guy, which is fine because that's what they need to do if they want to have a top face on the company. But then at the end, you kind of wonder what is going on because Jericho runs out and he gets involved. We get a ref bump, Seth Rollins dives. Seth Rollins is about to win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think the crowd counted to like 20 something, and then that was the end. Before Stephanie throws out a new ref, and then Kevin Owens gets the victory. But then they did this thing with Stephanie where she did like a crazy look back. Like she looked back like either she was guilty because she threw the ref in there knowing that she should have had the ref come out early, or she was like guilty because she felt bad that the ref didn't come out soon enough. Maybe she's just swerving. I don't know. I'm going to just assume that the whole storyline is a work on Seth Rollins, and Triple H and Stephanie were behind it all. And Kevin Owens is going to be like the new dynasty guy with Jericho or whatever. I don't know. I like Jericho, though. He is awesome. At the end of the show, he's saying, "We are the champions," which I thought was funny because he's not the champion, but just for him to say, "We are the champions." So hopefully he can turn into like, he turns into like Kevin Owens' lackey, and then eventually he can turn into like, he screws him out of the title or somehow, or like makes a dumb mistake and screws him out or whatever. But honestly, I think that they're just pushing really hard to make you hate Kevin Owens by having him cheat, and then making Seth Rollins a super babyface type deal here by getting screwed over. But I don't think the crowd was that into the match. I think they were sitting on their hands for a while, or texting or whatever, taking pictures. I don't know what they were doing. But the crowd felt kind of off for part of this show. I mean, they picked up at points like when Cesaro and Sheamus were killing each other. They finally got into it. I feel like that's what it is with a lot of crowds. Like they get into the matches when the wrestlers legit are like killing themselves, and they need to stop. Let's have a petition now, right now, because talking about wrestlers killing themselves. The outside plancha or tope suicido or the spear or whatever it's called, that move where they dive in the middle ropes, whether it's a spear or whether they're just diving on people or whatever they're doing onto the announce table, whatever they're going to do, the one that Big E does and the one that Cesaro did, they need to just stop doing that move. I mean, you remember that time that Lita did it? I can't remember who she was fighting. I think she was fighting Trish. I could be wrong on that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she like curled up like, I don't even know. It looks like a like that kind of thing when she did it, and it was bad. And then Cesaro did it, and he landed like that on the top of his head, or yeah. And then Big E's done it before, where he's landed like that too. I think that's just a move that needs to be taken out of the arsenal. Like I feel like these guys are going out there and killing themselves because they want to put on good matches, but I'm just not excited because I've seen it a million times. You know what I mean? I mean, like by standards, if you go back like to the Attitude Era and you watch one of those pay per views and you watch this pay per view and you compare like quality of wrestling, not storytelling or anything, but just quality of match types, like they're way higher quality, more high impact now, more like high risk, deadly moves, but I don't know that it's as exciting because I see all the dives all the time. Like Biggie always dives to the outside. You see guys dive through the ropes all the time and nobody cares anymore. Like I just feel that's the way it is. But it's going to continue that way because WWE is pushing a pay-per-view every 2 weeks. And that's the way it's going to be. And it's not a pay-per-view, it's a network special. I guess it's a pay-per-view, but do people really buy it that don't have the network? I don't know if you could still get it on cable. You'll have to let me know. Or if you can buy it if you're not a WWE network. I don't know. But here's what I'll say why WWE is doing this is because if you can get people to turn into your app or your service or whatever every 2 weeks, it looks good to advertisers when you're trying to sell things. So you can go back to them and you can say, hey, look at the spike every 2 weeks. We have so many people watching the network, and they constantly come back to the network, so you should totally advertise with us. That's what they're doing here. I mean, that's all it's really about. It's about them making money. It's about them advertising, and WWE Network is a cash cow for them. They're making money hand over fist, and it's a good thing for them. So I don't blame them for doing this. The brand split is just making more revenue for them. They can do a pay-per-view every other week. Was it every other week now? Is that really what it is? If that's how it feels like you have a show, you have a week off, and then you have another pay per view. Because I swear that's what it was, right? Is that every 2 weeks? Yeah, that makes sense. But that's just the way WWE is going to be now. They have the brand split, and I feel like I've just been thinking of like the last pay per views in WWE, right? Where like you think of like old WWF pay-per-views back in the Attitude Era or like Ruthless Aggression era, you think about like you go back and you're like, I remember that one. That one was really sweet. But like now at times, like I don't think since the networks come out, I mean maybe a few times like WrestleMania or big shows, I don't think I've really ever gone back and watched a pay-per-view or a big show. I mean, I watched like NXT specials I have, but as far as like main rosters, I don't know if I have. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on this, but I feel like they're doing way too much and there's just too much going on that I'm not caring enough. Where everything's just more fast paced, but I guess that's the way the attention span is of people today. That's why you got to constantly keep making videos on YouTube when you're making content, and you got to constantly tweet, constantly do Facebook updates. You got to keep those short attention span people to pay attention to your content long enough. And then if they're bored, you know what? Just make new stuff. That's what they're doing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on this, but I thought this was all right. I thought it was a decent show. Kevin Owens is top heel. Seth Rollins top face. Stephanie's probably going to turn on him and say, yeah, I'm with Triple H. Duh. The whole time. You should have known it. That's it. I don't know, but it was a good show. It was fun. It was a fun, great show. Roman Reigns is the man again. Number one guy in the world, Roman Reigns, U.S. champion. And Jericho's great. He's just great. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know if you're on the same page as me with there's too much wrestling going on every other week, but they're just trying to sell to the advertisers. So kudos to them for making lots of money.